suppose if everyone's taking a seat.
I need to get more comfortable chairs.
The backs on these are too high.
Indeed.
Our eyes are playing tricks on us.
What is the problem?
We see something unfortunate in our eyes. You may be sitting
Oh,
in
Hattie.
someone's lap right now.
I wondered.
I believe it had something to do with the bit of the portal travel that could cause something like that.
We don't judge.
It sounds like you're... Never mind. Never mind. Let's get to the matter at hand.
Very well. When we met Pythagoras, he told us a great deal. The possible vessel or sacrifice, we believe he said, was Xavier, but he said there were others. We didn't know until last night that one of the others is possibly you.
So perhaps it's simply whoever he can get his hands on. Yes.
Meeting a certain criteria. We're not entirely sure how that is.
But
I
what...
believe they did mention a little bit about it before, Carrion. I believe it has something to do with innocence, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Innocence.
I think he is
Poor
mistaken.
Pythagoras does not. Yes, he does not know who Io really is. No disrespect, Io, but I think he underestimates you, which is good.
Is it?
I could be recalling that wrongly, so do take that with a grain of salt. I didn't write that part down specifically in my notes at the time.
I see.
The question is, how is it that Abelard has come across this information?
I've got a few ideas about that.
Well,
Pythagoras is not exactly going to be... He's not exactly quiet about his plans.
This is true. Oh no, guys.
he has told us, and he has told those of the obelisk.
Yes, and he told me of a few of his plans, though that was, again, a long time ago, back when he was constructing my ziggurat. It is... I still don't understand the entire virgin thing. It doesn't actually have any effect on any... But he is, I'm assuming, failing with the sorcery thing.
Well,
that said...
He does not know then that I have had a husband and a child. So it's a moot point.
Do let us make this clear. Oftentimes, rituals speak of virgin blood. This means blood that hasn't been used in a ritual before. Though there are others that do mean that.
I see. I bet you were already a target when you first...
So freely to demons or other entities as well. It can taint you in a particular way. So, finding one who has not been...
just you.
Say again?
It doesn't need to be you that have done the deed. Sometimes these things transcend through family trees, generations, in fact.
That as well. But
it can go on.
Just to wrap up, if you've never been, or if your bloodline has never been tainted, it makes it all that more valuable.
Well then...
certain individuals.
Then he simply doesn't know, I suppose.
Or he's found a way around. There are ways to mark someone's essence, their blood, rendering it unusable for certain things.
I have an ancestor who was a sorceress. It's caused a great...
That makes it all the more valuable.
No, I thought you... No, she was a follower of Set. It tore our family apart.
I do not dabble with the blood as much as Carrion does, but I can tell you this. Anyone with sorcery in their bloodline definitely can become a target of any individual who seeks to exploit that. I am not too unfamiliar with that. My dealings with my family is we take people's sorcery as payments, but that is no secret amongst this table. It is just an example.
Is there any royal family ancestry? That's the only thing I can think, is perhaps he is assuming things about your heraldry that may not be entirely true.
Well, what does that entirely mean? Because that means different things for different people in different times.
Was your family of royal descent at some point? Did they hold a high place in court, perhaps?
They did,
Bastards of
but
the royal family?
that was before they split off from my great-great-grandmother. My side of the family became nomads. Wealthy merchants held in high regard, but nomads all the same, to distance themselves from that. And they did so for generations. Oh yeah, tag, you're it.
Unfortunately, in Stygia, there is one indicator of royal lineage that you do seem to display. Violet eyes are often seen
Are they really?
as a sign of royal lineage, no matter how distant it might be.
That's an accident.
Indeed. It's not just Stygia.
I had no
Other
idea.
lands, even my homeland as well.
That's an accident. I see.
And I don't think that royal blood dilutes so easy.
It does not. It can carry down too many generations, if not indefinite. Even if it's the thinnest blood, it is still connected to the source.
Indeed. And if there were certain pacts made by your ancestor, those still carry through.
I wouldn't know what that was. We were barely allowed to speak of her. It was not something that was
There's a
taught.
good chance you'll never know what it was.
I was hidden away from much of my family because of this violet eye. They didn't want the association. Whoops.
Unfortunately, with experience with Stygia myself, you can put yourself as far away from it as possible, but you will still be connected to it.
Especially now, with Set being so prevalent in every other god secondary.
The king does continue his reign of terror, of stamping out other gods.
Conform or die, that is usually the case.
Well, that's why we kept to ourselves. As best we could. Weren't loud.
A wise choice. And only now you are suspected or hunted down. We cannot confirm things about your blood unless we study it. And we would not presume to ask, as this is now a fear for you.
I don't know what to do.
if I may suggest, you can always make a very well-worded deal, written on paper, with Carrion, if you would like to know your lineage, and what potential, well, information may come from the blood. And then once the information is found out with eyes of several, Carrion can destroy the blood afterwards.
It's risky.
That way, no trace of it is left over.
But in the
return,
end,
you would have to give a different form of payment, but
is that what matters, though? Doesn't it only matter what Pythagoras believes?
unless you can make the information public somehow, and the words get to his ears, I could think of a few ways how that might happen.
Yet, if
Xander might know as well.
if it ends up being exactly what he is looking for, that doesn't help me out very much, does it?
True. But we can bring misinformation to his ears.
Then simply claim that you received a sample of my blood and that it is absolutely not what he's looking for.
If we were to do that, we would need proof. Unfortunately, which I know you do not want to do, so that is why I did not suggest that.
Would he not want proof if it was ideal as well? I don't know.
Correct. But do believe we do not want to rush any of this. We do not want to tell you to give us your blood. We brought this to you for a reason.
As well, Pythagoras does not know that we know this information now. We obtained this information from the tower. So, if we were to bring that information to him, he may suspect that we are investigating him, which is already a worry we have currently due to unfortunate situations recently.
I think Xander's thinking bait right now. Here it is.
I
What?
think he shared this with the tower. Perhaps even asked them to share it with others. Or knew that they would. One of the two.
And what would the point of that be? Why would he want me to know that I'm a target? Is it
Get you
to...
scared. Get you to react.
I thought he was
I'm
after
under the
Xavier.
suspicion he is what he said. But from how the tower explained it to us, it was more so of, I was trying to inquire about Pythagoras from them a little bit since we were gaining their trust. The way the topic was brought up was not how you suggested, Xander. Not saying that's not a potential possibility, but from my understanding, it did not seem that way.
How did it seem to you?
If you want my honest opinion, it seemed like they were wanting Pythagoras to be wiped off the chessboard, so to say.
Then perhaps I should have a talk with the necromancers myself.
Indeed.
Perhaps. And we do trust you. Just be careful when you do.
It would,
We don't want more suspicion.
and it would
course.
do not to make premature enemies of them. Right now, it
Exactly.
seems they are friendly towards us for whatever reason that might be.
We can tell you that too. They want to foster goodwill. As after the blood sport, they have drawn ire.
Indeed, they have.
Yes, and while I would go there and handle these negotiations myself, I find myself incapable of going there. Again, for similar reasons why I cannot visit you two.
wise. Unfortunate, but wise.
I'll go there. I'll not make enemies of them.
You must be very cautious.
Yes, you cannot let your pride take charge of these negotiations. I know that is a very difficult task for you, but
It might be best if I attend, since the letter was addressed to me. As much as I detest that place. It's a really cool build. I don't mind going. They're gonna start
I don't want
fighting.
to make you overly scared, but do consider that carefully.
Yes, I would perhaps advise caution in that. Just if you stayed by.
What do you mean?
What if they are in league with him and you walk right in and they have a trap set?
I guess there's no way of knowing. But I could go to the caravan and... It's no secret where we live, Xander.
I know. But my point still stands. They could have a trap for you. A very simple one.
And we still never figured out what happened to Sark there.
We may never figure it out.
if you can get either one of them to reveal what happened or what I might have seen, if they are willing to reveal that, then I think they might be trusted.
May we inquire what do you speak of?
It's a lovely
went
view.
there shortly after the tournament they had, the one that drew all of this ire, because I heard they had a bit of a break-in. And, well,
I think Karen crashed.
that, I went there, I examined everything, and all of the evidence seemed to point northwards. More than likely to Castle Savage, but, well, nothing conclusive. And that seemed to agree with the
Oh, he's absolutely
conclusions
gonna
that they had
get
drawn.
Castle Savage to
However,
kidnap
at
us.
some point during this entire thing, I blacked out. I remember a sensation of weightlessness and then a hallway of some kind. It was very different from everything else there. It was unadorned. It didn't seem like the same kind of machinery.
Or Orin.
And that's about it.
Or the pirates.
I took some notes, and well, apparently, in my dazed state, while I was writing them down, I made drawings of what were perhaps a funerary urn and some sort of
I can't see.
vessel, goblet, whatever you want to call, filled with a dark liquid. I only have silver and black ink, so what was actually in there, I cannot say.
A funerary urn. What if they are the ones who stole ashes from Korgoth?
It was most likely them.
Isn't-
Some of the rumors before that happened was that they were planning to resurrect him.
Can that be done from ashes? Because they've claimed that that ashes mean nothing to them because it cannot be resurrected.
Ashes
But-
would be extremely difficult. But if they had a
Well-
worthy vessel, then it is possible.
If they also had blood, they could mix that with the ashes and at least speak with Korgoth, at least briefly. Those are certain necromantic rites that allow for that.
I see.
I believe that if I may interject, the resurrection of Korgoth may have not been actually the tower, and the reason why it would have been linked to the tower would be because of a particular individual who took apprenticeship under Abelard for only a day, and after acquiring a large sum of information, they left, and I believe started to spread certain rumors about certain things that may not be true. I'm not saying take these necromancers in the tower lightly, but I don't believe that the resurrection of Korgoth from my sources are leading in that direction. I believe they're actually leading to a particular pirate group, or a specific individual.
Then why would Castle Savage break into the tower? So it seems like it was them. You're saying it was the pirates instead.
No, not the break-in, but more so the rumors of the resurrection of Korgoth. I believe, and this is just a theory, I have not been able to confirm it because I have not investigated it as thoroughly as I like to have, but I believe it could be Cameo of those pirate individuals.
Cameo?
I've only met him once.
They did say that he went away to study sorcery.
He arrived at Emberfall dressed in robes one day, accompanied by Sven. They said they were looking for the Leviathan, just like Abelard and Shaitan did yesterday. That was a few weeks ago now, or I don't know, it was some time ago now. I lose track of time.
I believe he's worried about his captain and his health, and he was willing to do it seemed almost like he was willing to do anything to get him into better health. So he probably sought out Abelard, and he was probably going to see, Korgoth before he died. Which leads me to my suspicion that he's trying to at least bring him back to potentially talk to him and find out what he knows about, rejuvenation.
It is unfortunate, however. I think that might be a dead end. I haven't seen any of these pirates around for a week.
Indeed. Neither have I, but also I only used to encounter them because we were living close to them.
I wrote Killian a few days past, but I have not heard anything back from him.
Though, if someone was going to kidnap, can you see Jam Jar turning up the opportunity to kidnap me?
The ones with the level head on their shoulders, the rest of them chaos merchants. And I say that with love. I did grow quite fond of a few of them.
Well, Killian was a
Hello,
blithering
Jack.
idiot, but he was a reasonable blithering idiot. But that all said, again, I'm doubting their involvement in trying to resurrect Korgoth.
Which ones, Cameo or the tower?
Cameo and the pirates.
I don't believe if it were, when I meant the pirates, I just meant Cameo specifically.
No, he def
I
help
met him a
us.
few times, and he was definitely
I mean, he might.
hungry for power.
Depends on which
He mentioned it a
path
few
benefits him
times,
the
actually.
most.
Yes, well, whenever I heard him speak of it, it was in a manner of reluctance. He seemed to be listening mostly to his captain's words, and, well, if the captain is gone, I think Cameo is probably not far behind him.
Well, what are the thoughts now then on how to proceed?
Need to find out what the necromancers want. That's what I want to do. I want to know what. They're not doing this out of the kindness of their hearts, for I don't believe they have any kindness left. Whatever was good amongst them was stripped long ago.
Abelard is interesting. I would say it almost seems as if he does not fully grasp what it is that he does. His demeanor is not like that of Shaitan, and it is Abelard who wrote this note. So I fully believe that this could be Abelard attempting kindness. If it came from Shaitan, I would question it further.
There is another way to get some information. Doric has been taken into their wing. He is a large man, a simple man, and I don't think he quite understands who he is in league with. But he might be able to reveal some information. If he knows of this unadorned hallway, the one where I recall these small animals and where I possibly saw what I
What does that have to do with
don't
this,
know.
though, I wonder?
think I should have seen, then if he is aware of them, if he knows how to find it, maybe he can provide some information.
Small animals. Is they're whispering or something?
Sure. Do we know how to reach this Doric without getting back to the rest of them? I doubt he is.
Well, he normally doesn't actually make himself useful in the tower. He's mostly down at the
Base?
At the area beneath, yes. He's at the base of the obelisk most of the time, and, well, I ran into him earlier tonight, and he seemed affable enough. If you ask him to go in and check on something, it probably wouldn't be something he even thought twice about.
Doric was there when we spoke to them. If he does remember, you may hear some suspect things. Do know that we work in the shadows.
Yes, well,
we don't want another Kinrin situation, believing that we, well, turncoated.
Or do we? That was a rather nice
Kindred
letter.
wasn't aware that I asked you to do certain things.
No, but I did warn you that Pythagoras may ask of us some vile things, and if it meant to, well, gain his trust, I would have been willing to do so for the good of the cause.
I remember.
I say the same thing for the tower as well. We are getting deep in their trust pockets, so certain things are said to them, and if they circulate back, well,
I bet you run it in the next trip to the city.
it almost makes it seem like we're playing such the dangerous game.
I would just be careful with your public image outside of this room.
Yes,
I can't
yes,
really help
playing
you with
both
that.
sides.
What did I just delete?
That is something that I've been accused of.
It was unfortunate. You were telling the truth.
Yes, I told the truth to both sides. Yes, I was not playing either one of them. I felt it was the most direct way to get what I was planning done.
Guys, I literally gave her a violet eye because I
again,
wanted to be a
turned out
special
for
cupcake because I could turn them different
Ultimately,
colors.
the better in the long run, even if
I could
people do
decide.
not directly appreciate my efforts. But this is not about me. This is about figuring out the next course of action.
Try and find Doric. Save that. I'm going to go into the tower and talk with these necromancers.
Do not attempt to break in. That has gone poorly the last couple of times.
Who's tried to break in?
Nothing went poorly with us breaking in.
Oh.
We got in just fine.
Yes, but you nearly caused a war in the process, rather than advancing another one.
We've covered this. It was a very,
I
very
am
special
aware.
set of
Xander,
circumstances, and
everyone at this table knows.
We
Yes.
would like to hear it.
I also have suggestions for your defense at that specific place if you've not already put some down yourself.
We're open
Let me
to
guess.
suggestion, but
The Hyperborean.
unfortunate-
Sorry, I have to.
No,
Well,
it's
I think
okay.
at least one Hyperborean station there would actually be good. Just at least one.
Well, we have 4 there now. Unfortunately, you came at the time when we were still constructing Carcosa, so it was not yet finished. Right there was specifically going to be our housing, or at least our private rooms. So, it was a little awkward when I awoke and went to go check on the spot and saw a giant fucking hole in my home.
Terribly.
Well, I'm glad we can laugh about it now. We can laugh about it now, yes.
Of course.
Indeed. I did manage to at least balance the magicka within the air. So after resealing, it seems fine now. So the damage is more or less taken care of.
We didn't even put on the fine cutlery.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But anyhow, I suppose another question then. If we are to proceed in any form of way, or more so, do we continue as we see fit?
I trust you to continue as you see fit.
Yes, I think any
Fair enough.
sudden deviation would draw suspicion anyways.
Indeed. But I would suggest, if there is a point where you think perhaps you shouldn't reconsider crossing a line, I would urge you to talk to us about it before you make a decision.
Once you started walking around in all gold, I knew someone was going to at least attempt to get you.
Indeed. I know that my public image is always at stake. I mean, nothing really different from here than back in my time in Stygia. But it is just how I play. In the shadows, stealthily, and well, I have a really good silver tongue.
We will not say anything.
Carry and behave.
We are behaving. You heard us earlier. We haven't done anything yet.
At least you're not talking like Sunta.
Who the hell is Sunta?
Perhaps you should ask Xander. He's
Sunta
Always keen to
enjoys good fisting.
yes.
What? Do you know this by experience?
Oh yes, I've been fisted by him a few times now, and I've fisted him in return.
Congratulations.
I grow very weary. I think it's time to turn in.
Yes, it is
Talking about
getting
this.
late.
These things.
What?
Look at my knuckles.
I will take you home.
Thank you.
Ayo,
Yes?
could you wait a little bit? Could everybody
Yes.
else aside from Xander leave?
Need to
We will
talk
meet you
about
back at the
something.
palace.
Very well. We don't have much time.
Yes, it will be quick.
Of course.
In the meantime, while behind closed doors, I would like to still look into the whole cameo situation, and I will let you know what I uncover. But for now, let's assume that both sides could potentially resurrect Korgoth.
Very well. Thank you for your
Keep
efforts.
in mind.
As I am not escorting Io home, I will be heading directly back to my home.
Thank you, Sark.
And do keep in mind our offer as well. We do not force it, but we offer.
Yes.
First things first, I want to apologize to you for yesterday and how I acted.
It's forgiven. I apologize for some of the things I said as well.
I will not be so quick to dismiss your guests next time. I promise this.
Thank you.
No matter how I feel about them. The second thing is, I would like to formally ask you to take up a position for whatever this may be. If I call it a court, I don't want to call myself a king. But I do need someone like you to deal with diplomacy. Be a voice for whatever we are.
Are you speaking of something that you have going on with Fine Kinran?
He means in general.
I see.
Just in
For
general.
all operations.
For all of us. I feel like if anyone is to be the face, it should be you.
I can certainly try. I know, kind of already doing that. I feel like,
You're responsible for putting out all of our fires, which will inevitably start.
well, you have to promise to attempt to mitigate those fires and take my advice when it comes to dousing them.
Of course. I think by formally recognizing you as in like an official capacity, it would be easier for us to... Maybe we should just
So-
engage in ceremony and procedure. We should hold a court and, well, you should air your grievances with us. Advise us.
I see. So be some sort
We
of...
have a table for it already, so
You speak of this one?
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it depends on how it all plays out, but I feel like to some degree I've already been doing this.
You have. I just want to formally give you the position. You can decide your own title if you wish. I don't care.
Do you?
It doesn't have to be anything too official, you know.
Of course.
And with that, we request that you get
Here it is.
yourself a bodyguard of sorts.
Yes, someone that you trust to keep you safe. Someone that we all trust.
And I know that you would say Sark, but I was thinking someone maybe like Xavier.
Yes, a formidable fighter that would sooner die than give up his lord or lady that he is protecting. A knight of the realm.
Yes.
Perhaps, but what even would having a bodyguard mean? I mean, Sark is the one who is around the most often. I don't know
It is true.
Xavier very well.
Is there anyone else that you would trust to fill his position?
I don't know that many more people. No.
Ronin, perhaps.
Perhaps. I suppose. I would hope that he could be trusted.
We will leave it in your hands to choose.
Lacey. I will think on it. And see what can be done.
Very well.
Is that all that we needed to discuss?
Unless you have any other concerns, I believe so.
Yes, other things can wait for other days.
No,
Indeed.
I believe we've addressed what is of most grave importance tonight.
Yes.
Very
I'll not sit idle. I'll get to work on this immediately, Io. I'm not going to just forfeit you over to Pythagoras.
Would one of you bear me through the
As soon as
portal?
his head from your shoulders. Yes, I got you.
Your bodyguard means constant RPing away, yes.
I promise you, even if he does get his hands on you, he will pay for it. Will not let you fall so easily.
I can't say I care too much whether or not he pays. It's whether or not...
If he touches you, you will be the last person he touches, I promise you.
Oh dear.
I will take his hands, and then his head.
Is there anything I can do to?
Oh no,
Oh,
I'm quite alright. Quite this way.
I love this outfit, man. It's different from Io's typical glamour, but I love it.
Lady Licia. Another friendly face for you.
Not too friendly, huh?
Greetings.
Boris, you're here.
Greetings indeed. I
We were
believe
told we could
well,
be
we,
here.
I know, I
your
expected
host.
it. So,
We'd like to offer an apology for that. But I am